Big bombshell news that has dropped this morning, guys. Holy smokes, the Trump and the FBI team, Trump administration and FBI have just uncovered new evidence and emails showing that the Biden administration rejected any help that the security team at the southern border tried to ask for multiple times. They said they were in a crisis. They said that they needed help because it was an influx and there was too much people coming in. And the Border Patrol said that they needed help badly. And the Biden administration emails showed that they deliberately said, no, it doesn't matter. Just let them come on in. Guys, this is one of the biggest smoking guns ever. And we actually have one. We have the emails. We have the evidence to show how the Biden administration deliberately, even at the request of Border Patrol, allowed an invasion into our country. And not only that, guys, because it's the problem in the deep state is still happening. Massive, just huge, massive releases from Illinois, the third state that they're going to be going after, they've released 1,800 criminal illegals back onto the streets without letting DHS know, without letting ICE know. Trump said to go after them. We've already are going after Minnesota, then Maine, and now Trump said, let's do Illinois. This is all intentional, everybody. These are literally people that are illegals and criminals that instead of turning them over to the Trump admin, they're letting them back out into the streets, and some of them have bad rap sheets. Guys, this is us exposing and showing how bad the left is. We're going to expose them, guys. We're going to show you all the receipts. Big show today because, again, with the Biden administration emails, this is a big breaking point for going after all the leadership in the Biden administration. If you love this, guys, hit the thumbs up like button because it gets even better. We just had Haskett come out, who's going to be potentially our new Fed chair to lower interest rates. You know, that's his big job, what his big job is going to be next year. But he said that massive increases are coming to lower and middle income earners. He said you can expect that in the next tax refund season to see an additional $1,600 to $2,000 in your tax refund. Guys, this is massive. This is one of the biggest that we've ever seen come through. And this is coming from a guy who's directly involved with the people in the Treasury, all across the board, the IRS. I love it. We also have it again, where Steve Scalise, who is the House Majority Leader in the House, has explained that already the bills are ready. The Republicans are about to introduce a series of new healthcare bills that would alleviate the high cost of all the healthcare that's happened over the past decade because of Obamacare. They said they are bringing multiple bills to the House floor because it's going to take multiple bills to fix this disastrous Obamacare scheme. Guys, moving action, it's happening, guys. This is huge. We also have it again where all the while there's rhinos, there's everybody within, guys, and it breaks my heart to say this, but even MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, has publicly now drawn a bold line between herself and Trump. She's using Israel to do it, and she is 100% coming for Trump. She has literally posted all that she has received zero money from AIPAC, basically Israel and all them, and Trump has received all these millions of dollars and telling everybody this is why she's America first and why Trump is not. Guys, I can't even believe this stuff I'm seeing. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And again, too, we have a huge increase in reaching and deportations, 2.2 million. We have reached that number of deportations of immigrants, illegals, since Trump has been in office. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. We are cleaning house. But again, guys, I cannot stress this enough. Newly uncovered evidence and emails showing the Biden administration rejected any recommendation from Border Patrol. And Border Patrol said it was a crisis. They didn't have enough people, that they were being overrun, and that there was drugs coming over and all this bad stuff. And the Biden administration said it doesn't matter. Keep moving forward. Let them in. Big breaking news show today, guys. I want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, to all of our subscribers. If you're not a part of the family, please consider joining our family, hitting that subscribe button. We want to take care of you every day with the breaking news. And want to say thank you to everybody that partners with us in our giving on the 22nd, guys. It's about to be here, our biggest giving day ever of the year. With your support, we're about to give to some children's homes, helping out these orphans that don't got anybody, but they got us. Thank you so much for partnering with us in our giving. Give some special love to Elaine Demeen, OG of the channel, Elaine Soltis. It's funny, both their names are the same, but they're spelled differently. Give some love to Ruby Hoove, our boy Jim Barbato, Lori Rapier. Thank you so much for your support. Says sending love and peace to the TrueLife News chat family. I love it. Show Lori some love in the chat, as well as our boy Jim Barbato. And if you don't mind doing us a huge favor of hitting that thumbs up like button, we appreciate you very, very, very much. Guys, want to say again, too, real quick, right now, open enrollment has ended. Annual open enrollment has ended for Medicare. But if you are going through any life change, if you want to get ready, guys, for what is coming and where Chapter can potentially find a way to help you out with your Medicare costs, guys, they've saved people thousands of dollars on this channel. And if you say money, put it in the chat and call them up, guys. It is a free service to you because Medicare Part B premiums are about to rise 10% next year. And you call them up, 667-895-3015. See if they can help you out. This is going to be the second largest increase of all time. And I want you to keep more of your hard-earned money, especially when it's more likely going to be $215 more per year being deducted. I want you to be taken care of. The numbers at the bottom of the screen and in the description. Guys, today is a big, big day. The stuff that's coming out now is all popping up across the board. Listen to this, because we're going after the corruption and the rhinos. Listen to this.
The Fox News alert, a high-ranking Obama DEA official was just indicted for trying to help the cartel. Paul Campos facing narco-terrorism and money laundering charges. Senior national correspondent Kevin Cork has the details. Kevin.
Evening, Jesse. Quite the gut punch for the hardworking women and men of the DEA who are doing the job honestly. Prosecutors, however, allege that Paul Campo, who was, as you point out, a DEA agent for nearly 25 years, conspired, allegedly, to launder up to $12 million in drug trafficking proceeds.
Wow.
Campo and an associate by the name of Robert Sensi are accused in the scheme of converting cash into cryptocurrency to buy 220 kilos of coke, worth about $5 million on the street, and then attempting to launder even more money, almost $750,000 from other drug sales for the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, or CJNG. That's a foreign terrorist organization, according to the State Department, and this happened, by the way, earlier this year. Now, authorities also allege that Campo and Sensi discussed how to move money from the U.S. to Mexico, including buying real estate and smuggling cash in bulk. What were they thinking? These two gentlemen have been charged with narco-terrorism conspiracy, conspiracy to distribute narcotics, conspiracy to provide material support to CJNG, and, as you can well imagine, also with money laundering conspiracy. Now, for his part, Campo has pleaded not guilty, and he is in custody tonight. There's a good chance, Jesse, he's not going anywhere anytime soon.
I would doubt he is. Kevin, good to see you.
Guys, you cannot make this up. Just think about all this stuff that we're finding out now. All this corruption that happened under Obama and Biden, we're now finding out, and we're going after them. Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, Dan Bongino, baby. It's getting worse for them every single day. Smoking gun has been released. Biden's team ignored border warnings. Fed says there was a crisis. This all happened under Biden's watch. Biden's administration. They knew 100% what they were doing. We have email evidence to show it. We have reports to show it. We have phone calls to show it. That the Biden administration and Joe Biden, all of them, repeatedly rejected any help to address the southern border crisis. And now they need to be held accountable. This is the first step, guys. We release the evidence. Whistleblowers are coming forth. This is where we put some people in dang jail because they 100% were intentional in letting this happen. And it's not only that, guys. It's you go after the rhinos too, because what you're about to see next, it's across the board. The deep state is on both sides. Listen to this. And if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, check this out.
Voters shrugging off bad votes on top issues only yield more success for the leftist influence peddlers in Austin and state capitals all across the country. You know, Texas isn't alone in its red state rhino problem, of course. Conservative states like Tennessee, where a political trifecta exists for Republicans as well, also has officials who benefit from complacent voters, often ignoring more liberal voting records, thereby creating a political environment that lacks sufficient accountability. Republicans in Tennessee recently killed a bill that would ban SNAP benefits for being used for junk food, for instance. There also exists a contingent of liberal Republicans in the legislature who consistently take money from the teachers' unions and oppose partisan voter registration, both providing clear advantages to left-wing Democrats.
Wow.
Now, look, not all Republicans are created equal, and that's fine. Not all communities are the same. But bad policy is bad policy everywhere. Just because somebody has an R next to their name doesn't mean that they uphold the values that are key to the American formula for greatness. State legislators need to be on notice. As blue states get bluer, Democrats turn socialists, and the Marxist political ecosystem is flush with big money, both foreign and domestic. Being a Republican needs to be more than just a label. It needs to be backed up with consistent action to protect and advance limited government principles and constitutional freedoms.
Let me tell you this, everybody. This stuff right here that's happening, and we're catching and exposing it all across even certain red states. The blue is trying to take over. This right here, especially with ICE. Guys, this is one of the biggest fights ever. ICE warns Illinois is releasing violent criminal illegal aliens despite detainers, risking public safety. State has released 1,768 criminal aliens with active detainers since January 2025. Guys, this year alone, they are doing it on purpose. The money fund is being dried up. They're trying to cause chaos. They're trying to show that what Trump is doing is not working. But this is where people on the left do not care about America first. They don't care about public safety. Because when you release these illegal criminals, what do you expect? Especially when they're violent. They've committed violence. This is the problem that we have. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments, because all this is dropping this morning, just moments ago. New reports are coming in. It is insane. Listen to this. When it comes to the GAO found that the Federal Exchange approved 19 of 20 fake applicants and kept 18 on subsidized plans well into 2025. 58,000 Social Security numbers receiving subsidies matched Social Security Administration death records. So even though on the records they had people that were dead and marked as dead, they were still receiving subsidies on Social Security. Guys, you cannot make this up. This included 7,000 listed dead before enrollment. One Social Security number produced 125 policies and 71 years of subsidized coverage. At least 160,000 applications were altered by brokers seeking higher commissions, despite $124 billion in annual subsidy spending. This is the Obamacare fraud. We are exposing it, guys, across the board. The Social Security numbers, the applicants, the illegals, all the stuff that has been created, USAID, by the Democrats. Obamacare is just so full of corruption right here, especially when you got fake enrollees, dead Social Security numbers being used. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, because again, they hijacked the healthcare system to get paid. Digging It with Dawn, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Show Digging It with Dawn some love in the chat. Said a little bit for the kids. Thank you so much for your support. And don't forget to show Lori Rapier some love in the chat. Guys, I'm telling you, across the board, the new plan that's coming out today and the rest of this week for healthcare, Medicare, Medicaid is about to change everything. Listen to this. Our boy Scott Jennings is laying it out.
Well, first of all, Republicans don't believe in inflicting pain on people the way Democrats do. Democrats shut down the government and deliberately inflicted pain on federal workers, our military, and other people. That's their plan. The Republican plan is to try to make lives better. So that's number one. So when you ask, is healthcare going to be a winning issue? Look, it's a Democrat bill. We live under the Obamacare regime. We live under the Obamacare subsidy plan, subsidies needed for a bill that wasn't working, and a Democratic plan to sunset those subsidies. It's all their plan. I don't know how it's going to shake out this week. I know House Speaker Johnson says they're going to unveil a bill in the House. There's going to be this vote in the Senate. I don't ultimately know how it's going to shake out. I can't tell you. There is some conservative resistance to simply continuing to pay health insurance companies that do nothing for their consumers except raise premiums and raise deductibles and continue to give you products that you don't feel like you can use or don't really function like insurance at all. So it's a big week. I'm under no illusion. It's a pivotal week for Republicans. I don't know how it's going to shake out, but they are cleaning up a Democratic mess just the way they're cleaning up a Democratic mess on inflation. Yeah, well, I don't think replacing the failed Obamacare regime with another government overlay is really the answer. I think most Republicans would say we need less government involvement and more free market options. We need things like association health plans. We need situations where if we're going to spend a bunch of money on healthcare, the money is going to patients and doctors and not these insurance companies that do nothing but line their own pockets while bilking American tax.
What makes more sense, everybody? Do you give the money to a company who just gets it no matter what and is going to get paid no matter what? Or do you give it to the people and allow the companies to compete for your business? That's what we're talking about. That's what Trump wants to do. That is the big difference between Democrats and Republicans and Trump's MAGA, is that Trump said, no, in order to lower healthcare costs, they've got to fight for your business. Democrats just want to keep lining the pockets of all these health insurance companies because people, lobbyists, take them out to eat, they get paid, golf trips, vacations. Guys, this is exposing everything right here. Like, can y'all believe this?
Payers and American consumers. And so this week is a big week. Johnson's got a plan that he's going to roll out. They're having a vote in the Senate. I do concede the point. There is some Republican undulation on this inside the conference, but there does need to be a unified position ultimately. I actually think the president laid out some positive messaging on this several weeks ago when he said, I don't know why we want to go down the road of the Democratic idea here, which is just to continue to send billions of dollars to insurance companies, which we all hate. Why can't we find a way to spend that money directly on consumers? I think if that's the baseline idea that you're working from, that's workable politically. Obviously, you got to put the policy framework around it. But politically, I think most people would look at that and say, yeah, I don't want to give money to insurance companies. I'd rather get it myself and feel like I can actually go to the doctor, which under many of these Obamacare plans, you don't even feel that way right now.
Boom, baby. Because again, the invasion that happened, guys, this is about as bad as it gets. So we're now, oh my goodness, get these dang ads out the way. Okay, so it's all been revealed now. We have a lot of evidence that Biden was warned his soft on immigration proposals would cause chaos, but he ignored it. Damning memo reveals. Guys, we've got emails, we've got memos, we've got calls showing that whenever people requested and needed help at the highest level, they were literally given the door. They were turned away. This, to me, is the very thing that you use to give to a grand jury to put some people in jail. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button. I am so sick and tired of we have literally figured out and seen all this evidence to hold people accountable. Now, this is big. What's coming out now? Lots of things this month, this week. Polling is more skewing towards Trump's favor now with the economy, what Trump's trying to do. I love this. The momentum is here, but if we don't start arresting people, we will lose it.
Mark Mitchell, action, action, action. It's, President, and this is the thing about the focus on international politics and national security, put it a great, not perfect, but directionally very strong, I think. National security memorandum, the overall memo, 33 pages, kind of the architecture. Pete Heggs is going to come in now with the details of what the military strategy is beyond that. But he put Europe on notice. They actually said in this document that I think you have a civilizational collapse and we're not going to be party to it. We're not going to back your play. We're not going to pay for everything. We're not going to pay for your defense if you can't defend yourself, and particularly from this migrant issue or from this Islamic invasion of Europe. But the president then pivoting, and now Scott Bessent's, looks like he's taking a more active role. Semaphor's got a great piece about Scott taking more of an active role, not just traditionally with the Secretary of Treasury does finance, but more even on the economic side and economic policy. You're polling, and you've been kind of one of the Cassandras, you and Rich Barris, because we think you, Trafalgar, Rasmussen, you, not Scott Rasmussen, and Barris have been the best MAGA pollsters, and you're putting up a storm warning. And I can tell people we got a big time fight in Indiana. Don't think we're going to win this redistricting war. We intend to, but you can't count on it. So these midterms are going to be absolutely brutal, and they will grind the Trump revolution to a halt if they take the House, because they're impeach President Trump in the first 30 minutes when they take it. Mark Mitchell, give me the big picture here.
Guys, I want to show you this real quick because this goes into what Mark Mitchell's about to say. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's already out. She's already resigned. Come January, she's out the door. But on her way out, she is throwing some jabs and punches at Trump. She said, I am America first. Thank you for your attention to this matter. MTG, showing track AIPAC. Marjorie Taylor Greene, $0 received from AIPAC and condemns Israel for committing genocide. Donald Trump, President of the United States, $230 million. Independent expenditures and campaign contributions received from pro-Israel interest groups. Regardless, this is infighting. This is like the GOP MAGA Republican, which we thought she was, is now like crumbling. This is a huge jab at President Trump. Let me know your thoughts, because again, what Mark Mitchell is about to say, this is where we're leading into. We have to be unified. Digging it with Don, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said a little bit for the kids. Thank you so much. Show Digging It with Don some love in the chat, as well as our boy Jim Barbato and Lori Rapier. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate you very much. Listen to this.
Am I right to say I'm very positive on this younger generation, particularly in men? I think the most base generation, maybe since the greatest generation and or the revolutionary generation. I think the world of these kids, and I think I like the cut of their jib. They just need to be shown some guidance and a little bit of leadership, and I think they're going to knock the ball out of the park. Mark Mitchell, your thoughts?
I don't know if they're going to listen to our guidance, Steve. I think that they have a lot of agency, I guess is probably the right way to say it. I don't know if I talked about this on your show, but one of the wild polling findings that we found this year with the under 40 conservatives, we asked a question whether or not, AI is getting more advanced, the government is getting more, gridlocked. Would you support giving control of legislative processes to an advanced AI? And 55% to 40% conservatives under 40 said, yeah, sure, why not? Let's just give it to a machine. And the liberals under 40 were like, wait, no, that might not be a good idea. So these people demand order, and they think the system has failed them. Wow. And I think what you're seeing is there's a lot going on, and there are a lot of Trump surrogates, in my opinion, that are doing a really good job. But in my opinion, it also doesn't really feel like a unified front. It doesn't feel like they're getting the kind of air cover that they need, because the Overton window is going absolutely insane right now. I mean, you have Trump out there retruthing things about Hart-Celler, and you have this State Department document talking about, migrant overthrows of Western Europe. And so I think what the kids would say is that the people in power don't understand what time it is. And every one of these influencers that I follow, they're like, what's going on? Why has nobody been arrested yet? Why haven't we denaturalized and deported Elon Omar yet? Why aren't we arresting all of these people that are flaunting our very systems? But hang on. Everybody uses that phrase, what time it is. I know the people who use it are also the people who turn over to the tech bros. And I can understand maybe why young people are saying so much disorder, so much invasion of the country, maybe we give it to the machine. Obviously, that's incorrect, and you can't give it to the tech bro. The oligarchs only think of themselves, and they're the ones that came up with this, what time it is. Because what time it is for them is to turn it over to them. And if they got the young conservatives, 55 or 40 and under, thinking that, it's incumbent upon us to then get in there and say, hey, this is why that's not correct, and to convince them. Use facts, use argument. You just can't turn away and say, because young conservatives, 55, 40, want to turn it to a machine, I must return to a machine. If that was the case, we wouldn't have fought for this thing 10 years ago. The whole establishment said, this.
No.
I don't think
This is the whole thing. No, this is the whole thing. Young people are great. They got energy, etc. It doesn't mean they got the greatest ideas. I think they look at their elders and say, what you've done is horrible because you've turned the country over to Soros. You've turned it over to radical Democrats. You've turned it over to corporatists. You don't have capitalists.
Listen to this, guys, because again, new reports are coming out. This is what the Democrats want. This is what they've been pushing since Governor Newsom has been governor. Guess what? Over the past 6 years, California now leads the nation in both unemployment and homelessness. Now remember, it's all based upon a percentage, okay? So it does factor out. But can you believe it that right now, California has like the 6th largest GDP in the world. It is a state that has a larger GDP than most countries in the world. And yet, under Gavin Newsom, has literally destroyed this place. And now, again, this is who Democrats want to be the president of the United States? Heck to the no. Remember, they're a sanctuary state. They give hundreds of millions of dollars to illegals. They've given them special mortgages, special loans. This is, again, what we're trying to fight against. But it's hard right now because we got to unify with what you're hearing now. People are getting fed up with the deep state. They're getting fed up with the uniparty. They want real change
in this country, and I'm screwed. I can't get a job. I can't form a family. I can't marry a woman because I can't get. I don't have economic prospects, and they're sitting there looking at my economic prospects and say, "Hey, no offense, you're a nice guy, but you're not going to be able to buy a house until you're 40, which is now the entry age." So it's incumbent upon us to tell them, "You're 100% correct, and this is the action to correct it, sir."
No, I agree with you, and I've said all that stuff on your show, but I think, and I'm not saying that they're going to lean into like Elon Musk and, new cryptocurrencies and all that stuff. I'm just saying that they want their Franco, and I kind of think a lot of people thought Donald Trump would be that person. And so these things that we've seen have, drawn blood. Donald Trump's down to a -12 net approval rating, which puts him on par at about 3 months after COVID in the middle of the George Floyd riots. And so that's not a really good place to be. And again, maybe he can recover, but I don't think that this is the same as the first term. America is very different than it was 10 years ago.
Hang on, slow down. Don't bury the lead. Because Jack Posobiec wrote a book that we published at War Room called Unhumans. One of the central characters in this book is General Franco. Did I just hear you say, Mark Mitchell, that they're looking for their Franco and they don't think Trump has turned out to be that? What do you mean? To explain to the audience, we got a minute here and I'm holding through the break. What do you mean by that? They're because I know Mediaite and Media Matters are going to have a total vapor lock right now when Mark Mitchell, the pollster, particularly for young MAGA, is sitting there saying they're looking for their Franco. Sir.
Well, you poll and then sometimes you read people's responses. And I got a lot of DMs from disaffected MAGA people who are like, what is going on? This is not what we voted for. And one of them said, I thought Trump was going to be our Franco. Now, I can't get into Spanish history, but the idea is that you have like an even-handed dictator essentially restore order and return the republic. We're looking around, and Donald Trump, in my opinion, ran very heavily on drain the swamp, reform government, usher in a golden age. Well, that means fixing the systems that have failed us, and this gets back to where you started. The system is failing everybody, and any communication and any action that is not single-threadedly attacking those two main problems is going to, unfortunately, I think, tank Donald Trump's numbers because, he lost his Democrat crossovers, then he lost his independents, he lost a lot.
Guys, a lot of stuff's happening right now, okay? Just remember, it's not like Trump's not doing anything. Trump's team rescued 62,000 migrant kids after Biden lost track of the 300,000. This is the stuff that always bothers me because this is real people's lives, real kids' lives. A lot of people want Trump to really drain the swamp, but it takes time. He's asked for the filibuster. We get the filibuster, we can do a lot of things. But right now, even with healthcare right now, we have Steve Scalise. The Republicans are bringing a number of healthcare bills to the House floor in the next few weeks. Big ones happening today and this whole week. But again, it takes time. This is where, again, Trump's only been president for the past, 11 months? And we've changed a lot of things. Big, beautiful bill. But just with what I've shown you with Marjorie Taylor Greene, there is still so many people within the Republican Party that are not truly, MAGA, truly American first. And that's where, with who I show you next, making sure that we address all this. This is huge, guys, because if we don't stay unified, it's killing me that we might lose the midterms. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, check this out.
Included, sort of understand what he means when he's saying that affordability is a con job. He's pointing to the Democrats' ability to win on affordability messaging because he says that things were expensive under Biden and certainly not affordable. But not everyone speaks Trump, and Democrats are trying to seize on that. You had a senior Obama advisor posting a clip that you just saw with the caption, "Expect to see this clip in approximately 1 million ads over the next 11 months." Does President Trump, in your mind, Senator, need to come up with a different go-to line when he talks about affordability on this messaging tour?
Jackie, you don't need to be Euclid to figure this out. A few years ago, we had 9% inflation. Prices were going up 9% a year. That inflation didn't originate in a bat. It was man-made, and that man's name is Joe Biden. President Biden was an inflation machine. Now, since then, the Trump administration, Republicans in Congress, and the Federal Reserve have gotten inflation down from 9% to 3%. So things are better, but they're not well. The truth is there are limited things that the executive branch can do. Only Congress can solve this problem, and specifically the United States Senate. And what we need to do in the United States Senate is get up off our ice-cold, lazy butts and start passing bills.
Yes.
We don't need Democratic votes to do it. We can do it through reconciliation, just like we did the One Big Beautiful bill.
Guys, just imagine if Kennedy was actually running the show in the Senate. Like, my goodness, how much more things would be changed already?
Over 200 tax code changes already that will stimulate the economy and increase wages. We've got a housing bill to reduce the cost of housing already in the hopper. Health care is another issue. We need to reform the Obamacare. We need to go to site neutrality. We need PBM reform. There are a whole host of things we can do, and if I could do them on my own, I would, but I don't have control of the floor. And I have been preaching to my colleagues in the Senate for months now that we need to do another reconciliation bill. And I'm going to chase them like they stole Christmas until they agree with me. I don't know why we're sitting here doing nothing.
Okay. Well,
okay.
In the meantime...
you heard that, guys. I'm telling you. That's where I go back to this, because he's like, why are we sitting here doing nothing? It's not just Trump. There is people like this that are going after Trump now. Senator John Thune is supposed to be the leader of the Senate. He's supposed to be able to make things happen, put things on the floor, whatnot, in the Senate to move forward. And Kennedy saying the quiet part out loud. There are people that don't want things to happen internally within the GOP that are against Trump. So it's not just Trump fighting against the Democrats. He's also fighting the enemy within his own party. And people are coming out now where it's like you got Marjorie Taylor Greene, who instead of being on par and helping out and making sure to just move forward, that now she's completely going against Trump. Guys, if you appreciate this breaking news, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, we are dropping some receipts today. Alice Lewis, thank you so much for the super chat. Said a cussing troll gone is worth $10. I love it. Hey, keep the chat clean, no cussing, or I will block you. We want a family-friendly chat, everybody. Mama Rules, thank you so much for the super chat. Said the more swamp draining, the more rhinos we'll see. 100%. Show Mama Rules and Alice Lewis some love in the chat. And again, guys, I just want to show you this because it's just so apparent more than ever as we continue to show you how many people we're trying to fight to put America first. This is freaking hard. Again, the DOJ went after 3 national guys, health insurance companies, 3 brokers alleging unlawful kickbacks and discrimination against disabled Americans. That's why we partnered with Chapter. Guys, if you are, if there is a life change for you, you're about to turn 65, things like that, about to be on Medicare, this is for you. You can call them up. It is a free service to you. Medicare Part B premiums are about to rise next year, 10%, the largest, second largest increase in all time, guys. This is over $200 per year. You can call them up, see what they can do for you to help you out. The number is 667-895-3015. Because again, too, no matter what, as long as you have somebody who's helping you out when it comes to things that you have to spend your money on, like healthcare, this is the value I want to bring to you. Chapter is a phenomenal company. They've helped people save almost $3,000 a year in healthcare costs. They've saved people on average over $1,000 per year in healthcare costs and even gotten people thousands of dollars in additional benefits. So call them up. Tell them that Joel sent you from TrueLife News. The number is 667-895-3015. See if they can help you out, guys, because I want you to be blessed. Don't miss out on your blessing. I'm sick and tired of this right here happening, where people are taking advantage of people or the taxpayer. The DOJ has to go and freaking sue them. And now we're trying to go after them with everything we got to have justice. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
While Congress works toward passing these bills, there is some work to be done for the president to turn attitudes around. You had a Politico headline that reads, Trump's own voters begin blaming him for affordability crisis. This is according to their poll. The article says that nearly half of Americans, 46%, say the cost of living is the worst they can remember it being. 46% also say that it is President Trump's economy now and his responsibility to deal with it. And strikingly, his numbers there are weakest among people who voted for him but don't identify as MAGA Republicans.
Guys, I just have to show you one screen, okay? It literally blows my mind that people are complaining. I feel like some of these are fake polls. Gas is literally below $3 on average right now. Eggs are down like 70, 80% in cost. I don't get it. You let me know, because it's just like, it doesn't make any sense.
You take all that to be a warning sign ahead of the midterms that this coalition of new voters that were brought into the party and propelled President Trump to a second term, that coalition is falling apart over affordability.
I don't think the coalition is falling apart. I think that when the American people speak, you better listen to them. And I think that we need, the president and the United States Senate, need to be working on things that moms and dads worry about when they lie down to sleep at night and can't. And one of the things is the cost of living.
Yes.
And what I'm telling you is there are things we can do that the president can't do, but in order to do it, the United States Senate has to get up off its ice-cold, lazy butt. And you can't use the excuse, well, the Democrats won't go along with it. Of course they won't. But we don't need their votes. We can do it through reconciliation with a simple Republican majority.
Can you do something, though, on health care with the Republican majority only? Because, how can Republicans position themselves as the affordability party if you've got ACA subsidies expiring, premiums could end up doubling or tripling, and then, you run the risk of people looking around and saying, Republicans had a chance to stave off my near-term costs going up even further, and they chose not to do it. I mean, are we at a position now where you've got to just extend it temporarily, at least, while the bigger problem gets solved?
No, we need to do a health care bill as part of reconciliation. We need to invite the Democrats to join with us, and a few might, but most of them won't, because they don't want to solve the problem. They want to maintain it as an issue in the elections. That doesn't mean we ought to do nothing.
Can you do that, though, before the premiums go up? Can you get that done before people start having letters in the mail that say, I'm going to be paying, double what I was paying before, and looking around and saying, whose fault is this?
No, and that's the Democrats' fault. They shut down government.
Yeah.
We should have been doing this, talking about this back in October. But frankly, back in October, we should have started a reconciliation bill, and the Republicans should have done this all on their own without Democratic support if the Democrats don't want to join us. We know how to fix the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. We know how to stop the fraud. We know how to do PBM reform. We know how to do site neutrality. We know how to design a healthcare delivery system that looks like somebody designed it on purpose. But I'm sorry, I hope I'm wrong, but I doubt it. The Democrats aren't going to help us.
No.
We've got to, no one's coming to save us but ourselves.
Let me tell you this, guys. So much is coordinated, and I wanted to show you this results. When people are searching, they're trying to learn, they're trying to go through all this. This is why I want to show you different ways that, again, it's so important getting our voice out. When you hit the thumbs up like button, it really does matter because a lot of people don't see this. When somebody is searching on Google and they go in and type in just Republican healthcare plan, what is the first article that pulls up that normally people would pick on because that's usually what they see as the best if it's number one at the top? Republicans have a mess on their hands over healthcare subsidies. So again, it's controlling the narrative. This is from Axios of shifting the blame to the Republicans when they're the ones that didn't even create the stupid Obamacare plan. Second one, GOP can't agree on healthcare plan. Some Republicans are panicking, from the Wall Street Journal. This is again where the fight is at. That's why we appreciate you so much when you share our videos, you like our videos, hit the thumbs up like button, because people need to see the truth. That whenever it comes to messaging, the narrative, propaganda, all this stuff, it is real. It is happening. And if we don't make sure to bring the right message and bring the truth and bring the receipts, people will always fall under one narrative and not know exactly what's going on. Where Democrats created the Obamacare. Obamacare is not working. So guess what? Federal government has to subsidize it and subsidize it and subsidize it. At the same time, you have healthcare insurance companies that are making 1,100, 1,200% returns on the stocks that they have. Like, it's mind-blowing. How do people not see this?
I want to turn also to Operation Catahoula Crunch. It is underway in your state with the support of state officials there. How important is it for the administration to highlight some of the bad guys, effectively, that are being taken out? Because the other side of this is you have critics that point to Operation Midway Blitz and statistics that there were, a majority of folks who didn't have criminal records at the time of their arrest. But we do know that there are serious criminals that are being removed. How does the administration best message this?
Well, here's what's going on in New Orleans. Legal immigration is legal. Illegal immigration is illegal. Duh. And the president has sit in federal officials to enforce the law because local politicians in New Orleans won't. Many of the local politicians are friends of mine, but we just disagree. They are preternaturally and ferociously woke. They are. Many of them, I know them, many of them majored in online activism with a minor in puberty blockers. They think vetting people at the border is racist. They're entitled to their opinion, but they've got to follow the law. And all we're doing is enforcing the law.
Enforcing the law.
The best way to avoid ICE is don't be in our country illegally. Duh. And many of, and it's not just the local politicians who are so ferociously woke. The local newspaper, the Times-Picayune, our major radio station, WWL Radio, which is owned by George Soros, they keep saying, no one's above the law. No one's above the law. Well, if no one is above the law, how come folks in our country illegally are? Yeah. Why don't we just enforce the law? And if you don't agree with it, go change it.
Senator Kennedy, we can
let me tell you this, everybody. It is a fight like nobody's business right now that this is happening across the United States of America. The ICE warrants Illinois is releasing violent criminal illegal aliens despite detainers. Almost 1,800 violent, key word everybody, violent criminal illegals have been released. And this is what ICE is saying is risking public safety. And what bothers me is whenever they release these violent criminals and then those violent criminals go and take an innocent life, who's held accountable? This is where you got some Republicans that are trying to push through a bill in the House that if these judges that are releasing them out, If that person goes in and commits a murder, then that judge is held as an accessory to that murder and should go to jail. I agree with that. I'm sick and tired of seeing people that have been charged 10, 15, 20 times, can't get it through their head, that don't go and commit crimes, and yet they continue to. But this is what we're dealing with in the United States. Thomas Brewer, let's go. Thank you so much, brother, for the super chat. Said, keep the good news coming, brother. Expose the bad guys. Amen, brother. Show Thomas, OG of the family, some love in the chat, as well as James Dalby, member of the channel. Thank you so much, James, for your support. Show James some love in the chat, as well as Mama Rules. Said Republicans could have had healthcare fix ready to go. Amen. It's the uniparty, guys. It's all about the uniparty. Like, that's the more that I see stuff happening, the more that I'm just like, dang. We've got a fight on our hands like nobody's business. And again, we have a great people that are fighting against this. But when you see the data, it's mind-blowing that nobody's done anything about this. Check this out.
An illegal alien with a long rap sheet, deported twice, including once under the Biden administration, now charged with first-degree attempted murder after stabbing an innocent victim on a Charlotte train Friday night. It is the exact same train line where a career felon with at least 14 prior arrests was out on cashless bail before he allegedly stabbed Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska to death as she returned home from work. Border czar Tom Homan joining us now. Good morning, Tom. I want to get right to this horrific attack in Charlotte. Now, Charlotte's mayor, who has opposed your efforts to crack down with ICE there, put this statement out about this tragedy, saying there are several aspects of public safety that are outside of the city's jurisdiction, including immigration policy and enforcement, but we will continue to focus on public safety and ensuring a safe and vibrant community. What's your reaction, sir?
You gotta be kidding me.
I say prove it. Prove it. Let your local law enforcement and your state law, so let the state law enforcement, mostly her local law enforcement, let them walk side by side with ICE and Border Patrol as they focus on criminal aliens in her city. I mean, as a mayor, her number one responsibility is protection of her communities and to lower the crime. President Trump, under President Trump's leadership, we've already dropped crime in a lot of these major cities because of the actions of ICE out there. We're concentrating on the worst of the worst. So, put your actions where your words are. Put your officers out there shoulder to shoulder. We're not asking them to be immigration officers. We're asking them to help us locate and remove illegal aliens who are public safety threats in our city.
And Tom, we have talked over the course of the years about known gotaways. This illegal alien criminal, Oscar Solorzano, apparently deported twice, came back a third time as a gotaway with more than 2 million known gotaways in the country. This is exactly the sort of thing we worried about, and it's remarkable. Solorzano had a prior conviction for robbery and then additional arrests for aggravated battery here in the U.S., and yet he's here. How imperative is it now that your men and women of ICE and Border Patrol continue to try and find not only the ones we know about, but the known gotaways that pose this type of threat?
Known
I'll tell you
gotaways.
about President Trump's in the Oval Office, because when we came in, we knew there's over 600,000 illegal aliens with a criminal record walking the streets of this country. And you're right, Griff, over 2 million known gotaways. These are more than 2 million people who crossed the border under Joe Biden and got away. They weren't fingerprinted. They weren't vetted. They paid more.
I want to show you this, because again, this is the reality of what was happening. People swarming in. Border Patrol doesn't look. There was literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Border Patrols, maybe 6, and you have all these people that are trying to come in. And then what was the Biden administration doing? They were focused on DEI. They were focused on woke crap. Like, this is just, again, the cleanup is so real. Like, everybody's been trying to hamper on Trump, like he should be doing this, he should be doing this. Just trying to get a handle on what happened and cleaning up and getting to a solid state in America, to me, is a big enough job for 4 years by itself. But Trump has been trying to do more, especially with the economy. Let me know your thoughts, because again, this is the news. Biden, new memos, new emails have come out. Biden was warned his soft on immigration proposals would cause chaos. He ignored it. Damning memos revealed. Now, we're working on getting those memos, guys, because we want to show you the receipts. But all this stuff is coming out. If you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up, like button. Thank you so much, Jim Barbato, OG of the channel, brother. Thank you so much for your kindness and blessings to our family. Guys, show Jim some love in the chat. Don't forget to show Lori Rapier, Thomas Brewer some love in the chat. Thank you so much, guys, for all your support. We're just bringing the news to y'all, guys. And thank you so much, Yvonne Cervantes. Let's go, member of the channel. Show Yvonne some love in the chat, everybody. Thank you so much for your support, Yvonne. This is so real. It's happening. And this, again, too, people want to see arrest. But I think it's not just enough to arrest the criminals. Go after the dang administration.
To get away. They didn't just turn themselves in the Border Patrol, get a free airline ticket to a city and get a free hotel room and free medical care. They paid more to get away. And why is that? Because they didn't want to be fingerprinted. They didn't want to be invited because they're gang members. They're criminal aliens. Could be from a terrorist-sponsored country. So over 2 million. So this is what President Trump is committed to. We're working with ICE and DOJ to locate every one of these criminals and remove them from this country. That would not have happened if Joe Biden or Kamala Harris was president. President Trump's a game changer. And like I said before, over a couple 100,000 criminal aliens have already been removed, and we're just getting started.
You know, Tom, some of the most innocent victims of the Biden border crisis are the unaccompanied children. The some 300,000 that were either lost by the Biden administration or were placed with unvetted sponsors. You have an update on this administration's effort to try and rescue those children. What can you tell us?
Over 500,000 children were smuggled in this country under Joe Biden. They released them to unvetted sponsors. They lost track of 300,000. President Trump committed on day one that we will do everything we can to find every one of these children. We know many are in sex trafficking, many are in forced labor, many are being abused. I look at the numbers every day. On Friday, I looked at the numbers. There's over 62,000 children found by the Trump administration. Children that weren't even being looked for under the Biden administration. President Trump saved over 62,000 children's lives. Some of these children are in sex trafficking, we found them. Some were in forced labor. Some were being mistreated. I can't even discuss some of the mistreatment we found out about. President Trump, again, proves why he's the greatest president in my lifetime. Over 62,000 children rescued by President Trump. Again, children that were ignored and weren't being looked for under President Biden.
Let me tell you that point by itself makes me despise the Biden administration. That this right here, this fact right here, this is so big, guys, that again, what did Tom Homan say? They weren't even looking for him. Like, what kind of it's so evil. These kids that have been put in all these terrible situations. And thank God we have a president who's put a priority on going after them, finding them, and making sure that they're taken care of, guys. That should be enough to win your vote when it comes to Trump and the MAGA team, guys. I'm just so thankful that Tom Homan, you can see it in his eyes. You can see it in his heart that he truly cares. Chris Prez, thank you so much, brother, for the super chat. Let's go. Hey, y'all better give it up for Chris Prez. This brother gave 150 gifted memberships the other day. Growing the family. Show Chris Prez, OG of the channel, some love in the chat, everybody, as well as our boy Jim Barbato, OG as well. Thank you so much, brothers, for your kindness and your support. This right here, I'm telling you, this is so real, and we're finding out so much, guys, that I want you to see, like, what is happening now with the ICE.
States by the Biden administration with convictions for crimes including kidnapping and child abuse. Joining me now is Missouri Senator Eric Schmidt. Well, Senator, thank you for coming in, first of all. Once again, these are the worst of the worst. This is exactly what Donald Trump said on the campaign trail he was going to do, and gosh darn it, he did it, and he is doing it. And what I'm surprised about is anybody surprised about it.
Right.
But what do we do with these people that were let in, they weren't vetted, they were given parole, so according to the old Biden administration folks, they are legal. when in fact they shouldn't be.
Well, the truth of the matter is they were let in illegally. The humanitarian parole process that the Biden administration exploited with these open border Democrats was meant to, you would have an individual review. So if somebody comes from a certain country and you wanted to grant parole status, they're supposed to be given an individual review, a case-by-case basis. That didn't happen. Biden had whole swaths of people, because they were from one particular country, come en masse. And that's why you have tens of thousands of people who are here now from Afghanistan, and that's just one country where this happened. So not only did you have 20 million people come here illegally, you had what was purported to be a legal immigration system where taxpayers flew them in, they're released into the United States of America. We have no idea who these people are, David. We don't know their records. They come from countries that don't even have that stuff. And this was this suicidal empathy of the Biden administration that has wreaked havoc on our communities. So there needs to be a pause on all of this. The president's done that. There needs to be a thorough vetting of the people who are here that we can find. And then, you know, if they don't meet that process, they got to go back. They got to go back. And so it's been a total abuse of the system.
The president wants to put a pause on immigration. He thinks it's just, I mean, this is what happened in the beginning of the century. We had a huge, beginning of the previous century, in the 1900s, we had this huge influx of immigration. We did have a pause of a number of decades to give those folks a chance to assimilate, to appreciate the values that we were born with, that this country was born with, and that has created the prosperity we have. The president seems to think it's time, and at least a small pause in order to get the worst of the worst out.
Yes.
And he has every right to do so. I'm going to read from the Immigration and Nationality Act. Whenever the president finds that the entry of any aliens or of any class of aliens into the U.S. would be detrimental to the interests of the U.S., he may, by proclamation, and for such a period as he shall deem necessary, suspend the entry of all aliens or any class of aliens. So he has the right to do this.
This is all real, guys. Like, I love bringing these receipts. And one of the biggest that we are literally unraveling right now of the biggest fraud schemes out there is this right here. It's Obamacare, okay? When this came into effect, it was literally created with so much just unattended information, money going out, no audits whatsoever. We are finding out hundreds of thousands of people that were dead, still getting subsidies. We're finding out people, there's literally Social Security's numbers that were so wrought with fraud, everybody. There was one that had 125 policies on it. On what? Do you realize that a policy on Obamacare in an entire year averages around $2,500 to $3,000? So times that by 125. So then you think about, well, that's just one. What about the other ones? The systems that were instituted by the Democrats have just destroyed so much of what we tried to do to take care of our own people. And you heard them. They didn't just let them come in through the southern border. They went to other countries, said, come on over, and flew them in on planes on taxpayer dollars. You cannot make up. It's so bad you can't even make this stuff up, but it actually happened. Chris Press, thank you so much, brother, for the super chats. I love it. Thank you so much for your kindness and grace. Show Chris Press, OG of the family, some love in the chat, everybody. We appreciate you very much, brother. And also, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button. Guys, it is insane. People think that Trump is just willy-nilly doing all this stuff. It's literally right here in the laws. It's in the president's purview to shut down immigration if we need to.
Is Congress going to object in any way if he does?
I would hope not. I'm sure the radical left that now dominates the Democrat Party will object because President Trump's doing it. But, you know, as a sovereign country, we have the right, as any country does, quite frankly, to control who comes in and how many. And if, people need to be sent back, or if you're overstaying your visa, you got to go home. We have a right to go do that. I think that's been lost, David, in this discussion over the last 10, 15, 20 years, where the Democrats, they don't actually believe in borders at all. They think they're arbitrary lines on a map that anybody can come here for any particular reason. And that's not really been the history of this country. And no sane country would have an immigration policy where you have no idea who people are that are coming in. And by the way, there's nothing wrong. We shouldn't be made to feel guilty by the idea that maybe the ability to assimilate into this country should be a factor. Like, we are a country, and we are, a great country, the greatest country in the history of the world. We have the ability to make those determinations. It's going to take the political will, just like it's going to take the political will to support ICE agents who are doing their jobs to get people out of this country that are here illegally.
Speaking of the worst, there's this incredible move by some of your colleagues in D.C., Democrats almost exclusively, but to create sympathy for members of the cartel, the drug cartel, who've been shot up trying to deliver deadly packages to the United States. We had Jim Himes, a congressman from, I believe he's from the state of Connecticut, yesterday speaking about these people as if they're shipwrecked sailors. I want to play that and get your response. Roll tape.
You can't make this stuff
Any
up.
American who sees the video that I saw will see the United States military attacking shipwrecked sailors. Bad guys, but attacking shipwrecked sailors.
Well, guys, oh my goodness, this guy is literally calling these narco terrorists who are flooding the United States with drugs shipwrecked sailors. This is, again, how do you try and even negotiate, work with people that think like this and try to use these words like shipwrecked sailors to try and defend terrorists? This is how good Donald Trump is at just exposing the left and how stupid their ideas are, that we're trying to take, you're bringing drugs over, guess what? We're taking you out. And then Democrats are like, please, no, not these terrorists that are bringing drugs over. It's a dang shame. This is where we're at with our Democrats in the United States.
There was a time when Democrats had no problem with the word narco-terrorist. I'm going to play a tape of Joe Biden many years ago talking about them. Roll that.
We think we should do more to stem the flow of drugs across our borders, and we think we should go one step further. Let's go after the drug lords where they live, with an international strike force. There must be no safe haven for these narco-terrorists, and they must know it.
Well, they said it then. They can't say it now, can they?
Well, that was before the woke mind virus ate their brains, David. I'm sorry to say. That is not the modern Democrat Party, whose only guiding principle at this point is to oppose anything that President Trump wants to do. The fact of the matter is, it's very clear under core Article 2 powers as commander-in-chief, the president has the ability to blow up narco-terrorists and their shipments that are meant to poison 100 million or 100,000 Americans every single year. That's the truth. And now you might want to have a policy debate about whether or not that's the right thing to do or not. I happen to believe that we've been talking for a very long time about the fentanyl deaths that happen in Missouri and all across this country, and we finally have a president that's committed to making sure that our people are protected, and in our own hemisphere, we're actually going to take care of business. And so they might whine about it, but I think ultimately, honestly, what this really is, it's an ongoing effort to undermine Pete Hegseth, who they didn't want in the first place. They keep swinging and missing on all these allegations time after time. It's the same old playbook. It didn't work then, and it's not going to work now.
Senator,
let me tell you, everybody, such big news today, this breaking news over the Biden administration. Literally, there's memos that literally the Biden administration directed pretty much the invasion and just said, let them all in. You're at the point now where nothing that the Democratic Party is putting forth is defendable. You have literally criminals, violent criminals, illegal aliens being released by the state of Illinois, regardless that they committed violent crimes. Who cares? What? They already do it anyway. All these horrendous deaths happening on these train rides or these rail trains It is just mind-blowing that this is who we're fighting against, and still half the country thinks that the Democrats are on the right side. And again, every single thing that we show y'all, everybody, we want to bring the receipts, trying to make sure that we put America first with all of this. But it gets to the point where it's like you cannot negotiate with people that doesn't matter what they say. Like, they're literally defending terrorists. They're defending criminals. Trump is lowering gas prices right now like crazy, helping out the average person. Right here, we have it where Hassett says that people are about to receive the largest $1,600 to $2,000 on average increase in their tax refunds. And what are the Democrats focused on? They're focused on dang terrorists and illegals. Listen to this.
There's a huge amount of positive news that the president is going to be breaking this week about the economy. You know, we've got a person who actually approached the studio with me, walked with me, who's tracking the openings, the groundbreakings for the new factories that are, you know, in the trillions of dollars of announcements that the president's been making. And we're up to almost 30 of those that actually the groundbreakings have happened. And so there's a lot of positive news that's positive for people's jobs, for people's incomes, and for inflation. And President Trump is just going to go out there and remind people of that. But in the end, again, going back to the eye on the horizon, that President Trump's economic policies were profoundly popular just before COVID in his first term because he had $6,500 of income growth after the big tax cuts. Yep. And so right now we're going into next year where the typical person who's got no tax on tips, no tax on overtime is probably going to see an extra $1,600 to $2,000. A lot of that'll come as tax refunds in the beginning of the year.
You hear that, guys? $1,600 to $2,000. That's some big money, y'all. That's big money.
That kind of stuff is going to make it so that people are going to look at their wallets and say, oh, boy, this guy's really making me better off. And in the end, that's more important than any poll. The final thing I got to say is that we did look at a lot of the sentiment, the softer indicators over the last few weeks, and we found a pattern that I'm sure you guys could find a chart that would show, which is that consumer sentiment it tends to crater when there's a government shutdown. And so we have sort of back-to-back 4% quarters coming in, and then we got the government shutdown and all the chaos related to that. And the sentiment indicators went down, but the hard indicators really didn't. And that's a pattern that we've seen over and over again.
Guys, Trump is bringing such big wins. This right here, like this image just literally breaks my heart, like of what is happening in our country. But we're bringing you the news, guys. I want to say if you're watching, not subscribed yet, please consider joining our family, hitting that subscribe button so we can take care of you every day with the breaking news. And if you don't, excuse me, mind doing us a huge favor of hitting the thumbs up like button. Today's big stuff, guys. Like, I love this. So we have a partner. We partner with Chapter. If you're on Medicare, this is huge because, again, too, with everything that's happening, it's all about making sure that you're taken care of and you get the most support. Medicare Part B premiums are about to take a huge increase next year. You can call Chapter up. They can help you out. They can see what they can do for you. But this is all free service to you. The number is 667-895-3015. We literally had our boy Chris Prez, who's donating on this channel, who literally just said that he called Chapter and they saved him $5,000, guys. This is insane blessings, insane help. And this is what I want for you. This is a huge blessing. That's why I want you to be blessed too. Whether you're about to turn 65, whether you're moving, whether you're losing prior coverage, retirement, whatever it may be, they can help you out. And it's a free service to you. We've got too many testimonials, too many blessings on this channel for you to not be blessed. Call them up. It's free, 667-895-3015. The number is in the description as well. And just want to give some love to everybody who's given today. Remember, on the 22nd of this month, we are going to be giving our largest donation of this year on stream to a local children's home. There's so much good that's happening, guys, and it's because of your support. We're partnering with you, and we want to make a difference in these kids' lives, and it's just such a blessing. Guys, we give God the glory, and we just, for all the support and the growing of this channel and our subscribers and viewers, want to give some special love to all of our members of the channel. Ruby Hoove, thank you so much for your support. Our boy Jim Barbato, OG of the channel. Lori Rapier, thank you so much, Lori, for your support. Thank you so much. Digging It with Don. Alice Lewis, thank y'all so much. Mama Rules. Again, don't forget to show Jim Barbato some love in the chat. Thomas Brewer, OG of the channel. Thank you so much, Thomas. James Dalby. Thank you so much to Yvonne Cervantes. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Show Yvonne some love in the chat, as well as our boy Chris Prez. Some love in the chat. OG of the family. Chip Trap. Thank you so much, brother, for your support. Said Obamacare and immigration policies is the Trojan horse to cause the fundamental transformation of America. Amen. Jeffrey Hatt, thank you so much, brother. Said, how I love True Life News and Family. Let's go. Bye to all thieves in our country, including RNC and DNC. Love you all for the kids. Amen, brother. OG of the family. Show Jeffrey some love in the chat. As well as Karen C. said, we have to ask ourselves, how are these people in office without knowing the laws? Shouldn't that be a lawmaker's job description? People need to research candidates better. Stop blind voting. Amen. Show Karen C some love in the chat. As well as John Asta. Welcome to the family. Show John some love in the chat. Guys, thank you so much for sharing our videos, liking our videos. We're here to serve you, bring you the breaking news every day. We love you. We'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.